How many of you have heard the quote, "A jack of all trades is master of none"? I've heard it plenty of times before in my life. I think it's a pretty common quote. How many of you have heard the completed quote? Did you even know there was more to this quote? A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Those few words give it a whole new meaning. I've been called a jack of all trades before, and this uncompleted quote made me want to stop learning a variety. I should stick to one and master it before moving on to the next, right? I mean, electric, acoustic, and bass guitar, I'll admit the occasional ukulele, and so many percussion instruments that I play every day. I should slow down. I'm Lily Robridge, and for my senior project, I learned the piano. I find it really difficult to make time in my busy schedule. In a regular school week, there's 120 hours. 8 hours of sleep are recommended a night. We all have 35 hours of school in 1 week. I work for 10 hours in a week, and I also have 9 hours of rehearsals on top of that. College applications and homework every night, let's be generous and say only 2 hours in one night. I also need time for family, time for personal hygiene, 3 meals a day, and of course my very necessary time to zone out and do absolutely nothing. You all get it. So when I get a second of free time, what do I practice? Acoustic guitar is my favorite, so the temptation this semester to forget about the piano and just pick up a guitar was really strong, I'll have to admit. But I didn't want to drop my other hobbies to master the piano. I just wanted to narrow my focus. Something else that was really new to me was having a private teacher. I love to keep to myself, so I got really frustrated with constructive criticism. And guys, technique is so boring, but I'll admit it's helpful in the long run. It was really interesting seeing past musical experience transferring over into this new instrument. I mean, I already knew the names of the keys, the rhythmic and dynamic notation. I knew how to read that already. From the beginning of the semester, I was not expecting to master this new instrument, but I'm not a master of any of my hobbies, and that has never stopped me from taking pride. On top of practice, I had a topic I was really curious about. What are the benefits of funding music programs in public schools? I wanted to learn about the effects of music on public school students. How essential is that funding really? I spoke with Ms. Rockenhauser about her thoughts on this topic, because who else would be better? She said that funding can be a struggle, depending on where you are. At her last job, she wasn't given the funds for sheet music for her elementary school band. She was told, just figure it out. In a case study focused on music booster groups in urban schools, music teachers all agreed that fundraising is 100% necessary, but none reported more than $10,000 fundraised annually. For comparison, a student tuba can cost around $5,000. $10,000, guys, that's 2 tubas. Performing arts has always been a huge part of my life. I don't know where I would be without the music programs I'm a part of. If you know me, you know about my dedication to theater. With our productions and the standards we hold ourselves to, funding can be a part of the conversation. Do we have the budget for this set? How many costumes can we afford for this show? I wanted to learn about something meaningful to me and something applicable to my life. I also wanted to have a reason for motivation, because we all know that it comes and goes like the wind. An interesting conversation I found myself having with Ms. Rockenhauser about the direct impact of music she sees on students every day. She said, some people wouldn't want to come to school if it wasn't for music, you know? Some people, their reason for getting up in the morning is because they get to go to choir, and that's great. Now, this might seem really silly, depending on your perspective. But as you're sitting here, think about the hobby that you love doing the most. Has that ever been your reason for getting out of bed in the morning? Maybe you have to go to baseball practice. Or there's a new video game dropping today, and you just have to play it. I think a lot of your answers are yes. Music education is why so many kids get out of bed in the morning. So when school budgets are cut, why are the music programs the first to the chopping block? If you're wondering if I completed my project, I did. I practiced many times a week, and I would say I've learned a lot. If you're expecting me to stand up here and ask you, is it all right if I play something that I've learned this semester? Take a second and listen to the point I've brought to you today. You don't owe anyone proof of your hobby. Keep to yourself, picking up the keys in your own bedroom if that's what you want. It's really common talk to want to share your talent with the world. But if that's not your thing, who says it has to be? That doesn't make your hobby any less valid. I enjoy making music, and that is why music is my hobby. So, in no way have I mastered the piano, but I also haven't mastered the guitar, or bass, or any other hobby that I have. So, while I may not be a master of one, I'm a jack of all trades and master of none. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah?
If you were to learn another instrument, like one that you don't know how to play, what would be your first pick?
I've definitely thought about this before. I've considered violin before, but I know how demanding of an instrument that is. But I've really loved string instruments so far, so I think another instrument in that family would be fun. Yeah.
Do you ever do woodwinds?
Woodwinds is something I've never even attempted. I think there's so much new technique that I don't have the basis of, so it would take a lot more time than I'm used to when it comes to learning a new instrument, but I think it would be really cool to try to learn. Yeah?
What was your favorite musical performance you've been a part of?
Oh my gosh. Musical performance meaning theater, I assume? It's definitely between last spring's Little Shop of Horrors or my first show that I ever did here, Little Women. Yeah.
When did you start learning guitar and how did you get into it?
I actually learned ukulele at a summer camp that I went to back in middle school. And I feel like that was a lot easier to learn than guitar. And then once I had the basis for ukulele, I started playing around with my dad's guitar, and I had a lot of the basis already. Thank you.